Hi, we're C.R. Raven. I'm the L. I'm the C. We're from Cardiff and we write horror stories, short stories and novels and articles for Haunted Magazine because we go ghost hunting. So.
And as Halloween's approaching, faster than the Headless Horseman, we thought we'd read from Deadly Reflections, our collection of ghost stories.
Available to buy upstairs. We have a ghost hunting show on YouTube, Calamityville Horror. And we go urban exploring in abandoned places, so some of the locations we visited appear in the book.
And we've chosen 4 extracts from 13 stories that prove the monsters in your mind might just be real. Field of Screams is set in the afterlife.
The ghosts who work for the Shadow Council Scare Department must keep belief in ghosts alive,
or they'll stop existing.
Nobody believes in ghosts anymore. That's a problem.
Especially when Jenkins, the ambitious head of the Shadow Council Scare Department, is demanding an increase in hauntings and a decrease in friendly visitations. He said he's not running Relatives Reunited. His voice is like a Blue Peter badge. Gets in everywhere for a discount but fetches nothing on eBay.
Half-hearted wailing and billowing curtains won't cut it, Jenkins moaned on. I will not have ghosts becoming cuddly, lovable creatures the way vampires have. Is that what you want, Mr. Graves? People pinching your lifeless cheeks saying, "Ooh, isn't he cute, all dead and woeful?"
Well, it had been a while since someone pinched my cheeks, face or ass.
Ghosts are once the in thing. There were channels dedicated to ghost hunting programmes. Towns thrived on the tourism. Haunted buildings bought. Inns charged a fortune for the thrill of staying in a haunted room. Now people believe in Santa Claus more than they believe in ghosts.
Santa exists? I raised my hand. I sent him my list 2 years ago and he wrote back, even put a kiss at the bottom. His eye twitched.
Scaring's at a record low. There hasn't been a crisis like this since Casper the Friendly Ghost was invented. Today heralds the start of the Scare Witch project.
He whipped out pie charts and my mind hibernated. I chose free falling from my office roof over this monotony. Hell did exist. It was a boardroom run by Jenkins. A PowerPoint presentation followed the pie charts. I slept through it until Kerry nudged me with a bicep bigger than my thigh.
Sometimes I regretted turning myself into 3D pavement art, but if I hadn't died, I would never have met Kerry. Someone severed his parachute strings. The ground broke his fall, and his body, in several places, the worst being his neck.
What about standing behind people at mirrors? I suggested. Horror films love that.
Jenkins rewarded me with a look that would make Medusa jealous. Horror films? That's where you're getting your ideas? Why not run a survey?
Nobody's tweeted me back. This one's called The Witch Hour and it features the Welsh legend of the Grachia Ribbon, the moat hag.
If she says your name, she returns for you to drag your soul to hell.
If legends are true, then soon an evil spirit will come for my soul. The crumbling castle looked bleak, as though it knew what dwelled below its murky moat and was reluctant to witness its evil. Closing its eyes to the nightmare only surrendered more power to the horrors. The dark was their playground. Floodlights bathed Caerphilly Castle in an eerie glow, as if the fires of hell illuminated it. The most distorted surface was a mirror that reflected your darkest soul, forcing you to look upon the twisted demons you keep imprisoned inside.
A ripple distorted the moat. The K2 bleeped slowly, like a life support machine about to die. This was it, the moment that made showering with my clothes on worth it. I didn't want to spend all night in the rain and catch pneumonia, only to find I'd photographed a frog. A shadow crept across the moat, then vanished. This was the moment I unveiled the legend for all its brutal reality. This was the moment I brought the dead to life. The moat yawned, water gushing off the entity that rose from the hellacious depths.
She was real, and she definitely wasn't a frog. The K2 bleeped like a TV presenter having a swearing fit. My finger instinctively pressed the shutter button. The flash banished the darkness, a thrown lightning bolt as the storm gods waged war in the skies. Dark hair trailed down her waxy face like matted seaweed. Funereal ragged robes shrouded her skeletal form, like a supermodel displaying the latest Halloween collection. Wizened, decaying skin caressed her bones. Not even Hollywood could conjure this horror, even after 5 hours in the makeup chair. Guttural moans escaped her peeling lips.
The Grachia Ribbon. Unsurprisingly, she didn't feature in the guidebook of things to see and do in Wales. Her wails were a siren song of suffering. Piercing eyes were sunken into her repulsive face. Bat wings fanned out, beat in the air. Her talons clawed the water, her screeching suddenly dying. She smiled, revealing gruesome razor-sharp teeth set in decomposing gums. As she disappeared into her gloomy, watery grave, she hissed her next victim's name.
Saffron.
My name.
The Ghost Review follows rockstar Snake, who's fascinated with the paranormal.
After seeing strange things in the graveyard, he becomes obsessed with the ghost of a young woman.
Raw, angry music pulses through my blood, flashing my dead heart into life. Scarlet lighting is supposed to give the dingy pub an underground atmospheric vibe. It reminds me of a vampire lair that dances their victims as we wait for the blood to be torn from their skin by hideous nightmares from the past.
My plectrum lashes a guitar, the tortured lyrics about betrayal and poisoned lust shred in my throat as the microphone bullets my words at the mob below. This is the time I feel truly alive, when the drum beats a rhythm my broken heart has forgotten.
The music stops. I jump off the stage, then leave to roam the village. I sling my guitar around my back and hurdle a wall into a graveyard. A Gothic church lurks in the shadows, locked against the sinners who wander these lonely lanes. Its grey stone walls match the headstones, as though bits of its body have been chipped off to honour the dead.
Some tombstones are cracked, revealing openings to the eternal resting places. I squat and switch on my phone's torch, leaning over to glimpse the dusty bones I imagine lie beyond the stone. Only cobwebs and woodlice emerge. The grave keeps its macabre secret locked away.
I creep amongst the graves, careful not to disturb the dead. The silent solitude soothes my senses, stops the monsters within. People amble through the graveyard, their headstones slipping through their bodies, stone and flesh embracing in an unhallowed union.
Their blank eyes ignore me and each other, as though they're entranced by the Pied Piper of death. I don't know which disturbs me more, having company in the sepulchral city of the dead, or the eerie silence.
They scatter to empty spaces, their bare feet soundless on the damp grass. Moonlight casts silver shrouds over them, the shadows staining the hollows of their eyes. In the distance, a clock chimes midnight. The people lie down and cross their arms over their chests, then sink into the ground.
I jog to where I saw them. A breeze brushes through the grass, but no signs of them remain. I glance up. A young woman walks towards me. Her black fishnets and silver nose rings seem wrong on the ghost. Victorian is the popular style. Maybe she forgot to read the ghost handbook.
She passes through me. I gasp at the iciness seeping through my body, then whirl around. She stops by the wall and lies down. She sinks into the ground, leaving me alone in the dark. In Carnival of the Damned, a group of uni students shoot a horror film on an abandoned fairground where an urban legend lurks.
A woman looking for her friend was killed by the fairground's ghost.
Fianna crept through the shred of black material, ducking Frankenstein's monster and trying not to trip over the scenery. She crouched in the graveyard by a crawling zombie and waited. Clunk! Whirring followed, the monster shifting in anticipation for the train. Fianna pulled out her walkie-talkie. Good job, Cat.
Catcher's voice came through crackly. I couldn't work the controls.
The ride's alive.
It wasn't me. Code Red snaked inside Fianna's stomach. Something tickled her neck. She batted the material away, her gaze glued to the track. The material brushed through her hair. She flicked it off. A bloodied hand grabbed her wrist.
She screamed, wrenching her hand down, the nails gouging her wrist. A severed hand clung to her. Shrieking, she frantically prized the fingers open and hurled the hand into the darkness. Her heart hammered on her rib cage, her body temperature spiking. In the darkness, someone screamed.
Rain retreated from the dodgems. Icy fingers stroked her arm. She spun around, her camera light exposing the coconut shy. Coconuts rested in grinning skulls, their empty eye sockets watching her. The Ferris wheel's cart swayed like dead men left behind to rot, the rusty hinges squeaking. The carousel lights died, a disquieting blackness shrouding the horses. She returned to base where Katja had set up laptops with live feeds. A shadow glided past the camera by the waltzers. The camera toppled, the image shaken as the tripod crashed to the ground. Static flashed on another screen. Fianna passed beneath it in the graveyard and it panned to a water pool with a mini shipwreck.
and the monster crawling from its murky depths. It paused and silently moved, coming to rest on the skeleton graveyard.
A grainy image of a man smiled at the camera. Bree's eyes ached in the darkness. She hoped they wouldn't have to reshoot this scene. This ghost train felt scarier than others. Maybe because they weren't supposed to be there. Maybe because of the voices tormenting her. Or maybe it was because somewhere amongst the fake monsters and pretend graves, a real victim was found. Thank you.